Hi, thanks very much for clicking on the video link. My name is Natalie Armstrong-Motin with Marketing Resolution, but this is another in the series of idle chat videos for the American Bar Association's Section 4 Dispute Resolution. And today I get to talk to a colleague in the south of England, just across the channel from me. This is Damian Croker. Damian, thanks so much for joining me for an idle chat.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you a bit. So, as you know, Damian, we've got all of these questions on cards. We're going to give them a shuffle.
Exciting.
The cards will determine our collective fate over the next few minutes. And Damian, first card, when was the last time you slept more than 9 hours?
More than 9 hours. Gracious. I'm thankful for getting 8 hours. More than 9, I don't know. I'm not sure I have. All right. No.
Just not part of your reality. All right.
No.
Damian, what is your least favorite smell?
My least favorite smell. I would say the result of an evening having enjoyed a nice Indian curry.
Totally fair. Totally fair. It would be, I think, maybe a toss-up between that and when they muck the fields.
Yeah, but then, like both of us live fairly rurally, it comes with opening the windows.
It just does. It just does. All right. So our next card, if you were given £10 million to open a museum, what kind of museum would you open?
A museum. What would be in that museum? What would it be, actually, is stamps and coins all around the world. What I would do is I would create a collection of every stamp from every country in the world, every territory, necessarily recognized by the UN, and every coin as well. So you could go there as a child and you could see the different monies and coins and that from around the world, and maybe add some flags as well. And I think that'd be really fascinating. It would be fascinating for a young Damian anyway.
I think it is just fascinating, full stop, because all of the flags, the coins, and the currency tell stories.
They do. There's the history, and yeah, there's a lot there. I think probably keeping it going up to date would definitely be a full-time job. But again, I think an older Damian even would enjoy that. So I'm excited about that. And if anyone would like to share £10 million, I'd be quite happy to explore that.
We'll put that message out because I think that's a really good offer.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir. And a Natalie at any age would enjoy that museum. Damian, what do you like most about the place that you grew up in?
Place I grew up in. So I grew up in Somerset, which is a rural county in the west of England, and where there are many carbon emitting animals, such as, well, not so much carbon, but greenhouse gas emitting animals in the form of cows and sheep. What do I enjoy most about there? Probably leaving, actually. I left pretty much as soon as I could, because there's only so many cows and sheep you can take, and I left and moved to the south of London, where I lived for many years, recently returning to the vicinity in Dorset, and not because I was missing the smell, country smell that we so have enjoyed discussing earlier. So yeah, no, leaving actually I think was one of the best things. Somerset's nice, you can retire there. The beaches are rubbish. Countryside's very nice though. I was born in Weston-super-Mare, locally known as Weston-super-Mud, and leaving. And of course, if anyone from Somerset listening to this, I have no plans to return, so I'm safe.
Well, there is comfort in that, but I've actually never had anyone give kind of an answer like that. still, I appreciate your honesty. That's always a good thing. Let's see, Damian, do you remember your first car?
I do. It was a Datsun Sunny 120Y. So it was a coupe, and there was just 2 doors, a little sporty, and I loved it. I was very excited to take ownership. So I passed my test, which is good because then you're not driving illegally. I drove it back home, and I lived out in the countryside in a village that had 150 people living in it. So very rural in the Mendips in Somerset. And on my way, I was very excited driving down these country lanes, and a van is coming up the other way, and I put my brakes on. Up till then, I'd driven a car that had manual brakes. It meant you had to put your foot quite heavily on the brake to stop. I now had a car that had automatic brakes, which meant you didn't have to push quite so hard. Unfortunately, my excitement, I pushed as if I had manual brakes, which meant that I then skidded right into the path of the van. The van thus hit me and wrecked my nice new car, which was quite sad at the time. So yes, I do remember it, but it was fairly short-lived, like a day, in fact.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the car, but I'm glad you weren't wrecked.
I was too. I did that later.
Oh
I was
gosh.
a little bit older.
Well,
there you go.
Sorry about that. Sorry for your little
bringing back that memory. I didn't realize that I would need counseling and help after this.
Therapy is not included in the idle chat.
No, I'm appreciating that now.
Yeah, I do have to now rescind my promise of no mediators being harmed in the filming of idle chat.
Yes, I think there should be a warning now.
Yeah, I will put a warning at the front of the video that some mediators were harmed in the filming of this series. Absolutely. My apologies, sir. I'll do better with the next card, maybe. Let's see. What is the either weirdest or coolest thing that you've ever found lying on the floor by the side of the road?
Yes. Weirdest or coolest thing I've ever found lying by the side of the ground. Oh, neck. The weirdest thing. Oh, I mean, I've certainly come across animals, badgers and so on. A deer. Yeah, I mean, we used to live when we escaped from Somerset in near a forest, which was had a lot of deer, and sadly, the kind of stags would get hit. They'd wreck people's cars. So if you hit a stag, your car's in a bad way. You'd certainly see those by the road, and also the wrecked car as well. I guess that was fairly weird. Yeah. Not great to see, in fact.
Right.
We got some real memories here.
Well, let's see if we can find some good ones.
Okay.
What do you know now that you wish you had known when you were 20?
What do I know now that I wish I'd known when I was 20? Well, I think one of the things you learn as you get older is that it's not necessarily such a rush. When you're 20, you're really keen to get things done quickly. And there is time. It's time to get things done. I used to think at that age, there were a lot of things I wanted to achieve by the time I was 30, which I pretty much failed to achieve. But there's time to do new things. You know, at each stage in your life, you can renew yourself and explore new things. I know myself, my own life has what I do has changed over time, and that's great. You know, what was important when you were 20 isn't necessarily important when you get older. So I think what I've learned is that you shouldn't worry, because things can turn out pretty well, and there is time. Yeah. Have time.
Yeah, just relax a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Good lesson. Sir, are you quite famous for doing household chores at your place?
Household chores. So I do know how to use a Hoover, vacuum cleaner. It's not advertised. I do know where the dusters are. And I can wash up. And I do wash up. I know where the bins are and which day to put them out, because I get told. And so yes, we have a division of activities in our house, I have mine, because that's how it's evolved in our relationship, I'm never confused about who the boss is, in terms of things when they need to be done and so on.
Right. And what's your least favorite of those household chores?
My least favorite. So I would say my least favorite. I wouldn't say anything were on my list of favorites. So which one would be my least favorite? I would say clean the bins out. So doing the one thinking about it now, and I've really not given this a lot of thought previously, is so we do a lot of recycling, and which is a good thing, and the food waste has its own bucket it goes in, and that bucket needs to be cleaned out. So I guess that's probably my least favorite activity, is cleaning out the result of rotten food and so on. Yeah. It's a little whiffy, and it makes manure smell so much nicer actually compared to rotten food.
Silver lining.
It is
silver lining. Yeah.
I've never really thought about it before, but now I am, and that's good.
Yeah. Well, and maybe you could use your mediator skills to renegotiate your contract.
Yeah, I find mediation skills with family. Rules don't tend to apply too well, and I would never try to mediate with my wife or my children, for that matter.
Yeah, danger zone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've tried, and I get called out.
Yeah. It just doesn't wear.
Yeah, I get called out. They just say, "Oh, don't try to mediate me."
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What does the perfect day look like in your world?
Oh, that's a dangerous question. What's my perfect day? What is my perfect day? So it'd be sunny outside, and I get to go out with my wife to somewhere nice, like we might go for a walk. We walk regularly in the forest. Quite like to do that, and maybe we'll go and have something to eat at lunchtime, and our children will turn up. We like to spend time with them, and their wives, and then we would then spend the evening playing games and talking about the world and resolving all issues in the world, and then go to bed.
That is a lovely day. Yeah, that's a really nice day. I like your plan. And then, Damian, I'll ask you the same question I ask all of my guests at the very end of an idle chat, and that is, what do you love most about the work that we do in the resolution industry?
So the thing I do, the commercial mediation, but I also do community mediation, and I get most out of community mediation in many ways, because often it's couples who are living in close proximity, and their lives are completely dominated by this dispute. Often they haven't spoken for quite some time. They just hate each other more often than not, It's the wife who's taking antidepressant tablets, and just it's affecting everything, their whole lives. And then you can come into that and help them and work with them to resolve their dispute, so that by the end they're hugging and crying and really happy that it's resolved. And for an onlooker, it might just be about where the neighbor parks their car. Or it might be about when they cut the hedge, or this apartments, it might be what time in the morning they like to walk around upstairs. These things, for an onlooker, might seem quite minor, but for those people, it's the most important thing. It just builds into something enormous. And if you can relieve that, and I think that is a wonderful thing. And so I really like mediation for that reason. But yeah, that's what I get out of it.
It really is a privilege to be part or party to that transformation, isn't it?
It is. It's absolutely wonderful. And it really does excite me to have that opportunity, and privileged as well that people allow you to take part in that process. So yeah.
Well, and it sounds like the people of Dorset are lucky to have you.
Yes, of course. I think that definitely it's a privilege for them too.
Yeah, I support that. I agree 100%. You have my endorsement.
Thank you.
All right, Damian, thank you so much for spending some of your valuable time with me in an idle chat. It was really nice getting to know you a little bit.
It's been wonderful. Thank you very much, Natalie.
Thank you.